Hello friend, this is BAWLER again, and this is important news for you. Please subscribe to my channel. It is very important. It's another day and yet another top Iranian general has been eliminated by Israel. This time, an intense aerial assault carried out by Israeli forces resulted in the death of one of Iran's top military commanders. Now, Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is reportedly gripped by fear for his own safety. The fear stems from an Israeli F-35 strike that killed one of his most trusted generals. On June 17th, reports confirmed that Israeli F-35 pilots had executed a series of strikes that killed Ali Shadmani, a newly appointed senior commander in Iran's military. This development is monumental. According to The Telegraph, Shadmani had only held his position for 4 days before being eliminated in a precise airstrike. The Israeli Defense Forces, or IDF, stated simply that a strategic opportunity emerged, allowing them to strike a command center in central Tehran, with Shadmani present at the time. Though details are limited, it's likely that Israel had been monitoring Shadmani's movements. Once he emerged and entered the command center, an Israeli F-35 was dispatched to carry out the mission. Mossad's involvement cannot be ruled out. The Royal United Services Institute notes that Mossad operatives were key to launching Israel's Operation Rising Lion. These covert agents were deployed inside Iran to smuggle weapons and disable air defense systems ahead of Israel's first wave of attacks. Thanks to their efforts, the strikes achieved massive success. It's highly plausible that Mossad continues to assist from within Iran, guiding Israeli strikes with insider intelligence. Shadmani became one of their most prominent targets. The Telegraph described him as Iran's wartime chief of staff. A close aide to Khamenei, Shadmani had only taken office on June 13th, following the death of his predecessor, Major General Gholam Ali Rashid, also killed in an Israeli strike. Shadmani was considered both the highest-ranking commander in Iran's armed forces and Khamenei's closest military confidant. The Times of India added that the IDF publicly confirmed his death on social media. Within 5 days, Israel had neutralized 2 of Iran's top military leaders. Shadmani, Khamenei's most senior advisor, was killed in a targeted strike in central Tehran, guided by precise intelligence, further evidence pointing to Mossad's hand. Prior to his recent appointment, Shadmani led the Qatam al-Anbiya Central Headquarters, Iran's key wartime command base. This role meant he was central in shaping Iran's response to Operation Rising Lion. His duties included managing coordination between the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, and Iran's regular army, overseeing combat operations, and approving strike plans. According to the Times of India, his influence extended directly to offensive strategies against Israel. This makes his death a major turning point. It's part of Israel's broader strategy to systematically eliminate Iran's military leadership. As noted by The Telegraph, Shadmani is only the latest in a growing list of high-ranking Iranian figures killed during Operation Rising Lion. His predecessor, Gholam Ali Rashid, was also eliminated. Others include Ali Shadmani, another close aide to Khamenei, former Armed Forces Chief of Staff Mohammad Bagheri, former IRGC head Hossein Salami, Quds Force Commander Ismail Khani, and IRGC Aerospace Force Commander Amir Ali Hajizadeh. All were taken out in less than a week. The Telegraph reports that removing these senior leaders has left Iran's war planning in disarray, rendering a cohesive military response nearly impossible. One unnamed source stated that the core group surrounding Khamenei has been decimated. This isn't just a decapitation strategy. If Khamenei is considered the head, Israel is dismantling everything beneath him. The operational limbs of Iran's military are being systematically destroyed, leaving Khamenei isolated and unsupported. One could argue it is a decapitation effort in essence, as Israel has effectively destroyed the regime's strategic brain. During Operation Rising Lion, Israel's strikes have targeted not only military leaders, but also critical infrastructure and nuclear sites. Sky News reports that over 650 individuals, including civilians, have died in the ongoing campaign. The attacks come as Iran edges dangerously close to developing a nuclear weapon. Beyond military officials, Israel has targeted key nuclear scientists and facilities like Natanz and Fordow. Natanz is in ruins. The BBC reports that IAEA chief Rafael Grossi believes Israeli strikes have crippled the Natanz plant's centrifuges, halting Iran's ability to enrich uranium to weapons-grade levels. Fordow remains a harder target. buried deep underground, likely requiring a US-made B-2 stealth bomber for successful penetration. However, Israel may not need to go that far. Eliminating Iran's leadership may suffice. With Shadmani gone, Khamenei is now scrambling to find a replacement. Two of his wartime chiefs have died in just 1 week, and qualified candidates are scarce. This raises further questions. Who can Khamenei trust? Is it possible that Mossad had help from insiders within the Iranian military? Perhaps. These are questions the Supreme Leader must now confront while desperately seeking a new military chief. But there's a bigger concern. Whoever Khamenei appoints next will become an immediate target. If they go anywhere near a known headquarters, they risk being the next name on Israel's list. If he hopes to keep them alive, they'll need to operate from hiding, hardly ideal for leading a war. This illustrates how devastatingly effective Israel's leadership strikes have been. As Khamenei's inner circle collapses, the question becomes, will Israel go after him next? CBS News raised this issue after Shadmani's death. Prime Minister Netanyahu has not dismissed the idea. He views Khamenei as the driving force behind Iran's nuclear ambitions and terrorism. According to CBS, Netanyahu may see Khamenei's removal as a means to force regime change. After the launch of Operation Rising Lion, Netanyahu claimed Israel's fight is not with the Iranian people, but against the Islamic regime that oppresses them. Netanyahu's strategy suggests he hopes for an internal uprising. Ideally, Iran's citizens would remove Khamenei themselves, avoiding the political backlash of Israel directly assassinating a foreign leader. Still, Netanyahu hasn't ruled out a strike. In an ABC interview, he was asked whether killing Khamenei would escalate tensions. He responded that it could end the conflict. He described the regime as one that spreads terror, bombed Saudi Arabia's Aramco fields, and destabilizes the entire region. Iran's nuclear ambitions, he argued, threaten global peace. Netanyahu frames Israel's actions as defensive, a stand against tyranny. He believes Khamenei is a warmonger driving Iran toward nuclear war. That, in his eyes, makes him a legitimate target. The United States may also be considering its role. On June 17th, Donald Trump posted on Truth Social, suggesting the U.S. knows Khamenei's location and could target him. Trump hinted at a potential future strike, but stated that for now, the U.S. would hold back. However, he warned that American patience is running thin. Trump's ambiguous stance leaves open the possibility of U.S. support for Israeli strikes, including providing weapons needed to hit hardened targets like Fordow. Whether the U.S. will participate in a final strike on Khamenei remains uncertain, and Trump prefers it that way. Meanwhile, Khamenei has reportedly gone into hiding. Iran International claims he fled to an underground bunker in Lavizan, northeast Tehran, with his wife. 2 of his sons were not seen with him. India Today reports that Khamenei's recent public address on June 18th showed signs of being recorded in a makeshift setup, compressed video and audio quality, a lapel mic instead of a broadcast microphone, all suggesting he's broadcasting from a hidden location. OSINT analysts noted that the June 18th footage had drastically reduced bitrate and file size compared to a previous June 10th speech. These technical anomalies further imply that Khamenei has taken refuge in a secure underground facility. All of this paints a picture of a leader in hiding, projecting strength while fearful for his life. As his top commanders fall and the civilian death toll rises, Khamenei remains secluded, hoping the bombs don't find him. Yet both Israel and the US may already know his exact location. A bunker-busting bomb could end it. Alternatively, Israel may wait, hoping the Iranian public sees their leader's disappearance as a cue to rise up and force regime change. The bottom line, Ali Shadmani is dead, and Khamenei is running scared. That leads us to the big question. If Israel has already dismantled the Iranian military's entire chain of command, will it now strike the head of the regime? The bulwark suggests Khamenei's death would trigger the greatest political crisis in Iran's modern history. Traditionally, Supreme Leader succession in Iran is smooth, as it was when Khamenei succeeded Ayatollah Khamenei. But today, there's no clear successor. Iran International warned in January 2024 that no one in Khamenei's circle possessed the stature or authority to succeed him. That list has since grown shorter, as Israel targets everyone who could potentially step into the role. While Khamenei hides, naming a successor is the last thing on his mind. His focus is survival, but whether his death comes by Israeli strike, internal uprising, or natural causes, it would plunge Iran into chaos at the worst possible moment. French President Emmanuel Macron warned of this danger, stating that military-induced regime change in Iran would be disastrous, citing Iraq and Libya as cautionary examples. If Khamenei is killed, a power vacuum could emerge. possibly filled by even more extreme elements from within the IRGC. Ironically, this may be why Israel hasn't yet targeted him directly. Instead, Israel may be waiting for Iranians themselves to bring about change, ideally replacing Khamenei with someone less hostile to Israel. Then there's Russia. On June 20th, Sky News published remarks by Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov, who said regime change in Iran is unacceptable and warned that Russia would react negatively to Khamenei's death at Israeli or American hands. Though vague, his statement hints that Moscow might increase its involvement in the conflict if Israel kills Khamenei. Israel likely wants to avoid that. So instead, Israel is dismembering the regime around Khamenei, leaving him isolated, in hiding, while everything else collapses. But the worst may still be ahead. What's happening now is only the beginning. The real firestorm is coming next.